Hello guys, thank you for joining us and welcome to another SysKit webinar. This webinar's topic is PowerShell usage in server management, and we're going to talk about why is PowerShell so great, what can you do with it, and how we made it even better with SysKit. But first, let's do a little introduction. Now, my name is Silvio. I'm a product marketing manager at Acceleratio. Here with me we have Frane, the SysKit product owner, and he will also be today's demo presenter. Now you can say hello to our guest, Frane.
Hello guys, how are you?
So, as most of you already know, Acceleratio is a software development company based in Croatia, and we specialize in creating enterprise solutions for platforms like SharePoint, Windows Server, Citrix, and other platforms alike. Now, we currently have over 2,000 clients from across the globe, and many of them are really big name companies, such as Coca-Cola, Vodafone, Ernst & Young. You can probably recognize many companies from this slide. I would also like to mention that we currently have 4 products, and many of our customers bought more than just one of them. Speaking of our products, here you can see the full palette of them. We have SysKit, the server monitoring and administration tool, ASP.Docket used for SharePoint documentation and management, CloudKit 365, the reporting tool for Office 365, and SQL Docket, the auto-discover and documentation tool for SQL servers. If you would like to know more about any of our products, just go and check out our company webpage, or even better, contact our sales team. They will provide you with all the information you need. Now, I'm going to guide you through a short agenda of this webinar. First off, we'll go through a few housekeeping rules, and then we will explain how can you ask questions about webinar using these GoToWebinar applications. After that, we will do a short SysKit overview, and it will be followed by today's topic overview. At the end, we have the most important thing today, right? The demo led by Frane and Q&A session when you can ask all your questions. Let's start with housekeeping rules. A recording of this webinar will be available online in about a few days' time. And in about a week, you can expect this webinar summary, and this summary will contain answers to all your webinar questions. At the end of this webinar, we will dedicate 10 minutes to do a Q&A session, where we will answer some of your questions publicly, and other questions will be answered in our summary. As we speak of questions, in order to ask us a question, using this GoToWebinar application, all you need to do is open the question chat box and type them in there. All of your questions will be answered by our product team, and some more interesting ones will be answered publicly, of course, at the end of this webinar. So let me explain what SysKit is for those who are not really familiar with it. Now, SysKit is a server monitoring and administration tool, and it helps system admins and consultants around the world in their daily work and tasks. With SysKit, you can easily monitor user activity, application usage, server performance. You can track server inventory, generate documentation, and you can basically audit all events on your service. You can also administrate your service using PowerShell, and that's exactly what we're going to show to you today in our demo. The other important fact is that SysKit is an agentless tool, meaning you can monitor all your servers using only one central console. There's also a SysKit web application available, and it enables you to reach your monitoring data from practically everywhere. All you need is to have a browser and internet connection. To continue on speaking on SysKit, all SysKit reports can be exported to PDF or Excel for some better presentation values. You can also set up intelligent alerting, and so SysKit can notify you whenever something unusual happens on your server, some sort of event. Now, one of the most important SysKit features, the server performance monitoring, it enables you to track all, and I mean like all existing performance counters there are, and you can track them in real time and historically. I would also like to mention the server inventory feature, which enables you to generate server documentation and track all system inventory changes. Now, it's time to talk about PowerShell. What is PowerShell? PowerShell is a task automation and configuration management shell. It may closely resemble command prompt, but it is in fact much more complex and much more powerful, as one could conclude from the name, right? It includes a command line and a scripting language, and you really need to know your way around it in order to create some quality custom scripts. You can use it for remote and local administration, but keep in mind that you need to enable PowerShell remoting to manage your remote servers. That's a special setting that you need to have. So to put it simple, PowerShell enables you to perform various tasks by executing PowerShell scripts on your remote and local servers. Now, PowerShell is a great tool for reporting on your server environment. It enables you to gather information on everything that has PowerShell exposure, and that's pretty much almost anything you have in your environment. You can easily report on Active Directory, group policies, IIS, virtual machines, and much more. To give you some more specific examples, let's see. For example, you can report on installed server roles in your server environment, or you can get full information about all virtual machines installed on a particular host. Now, what is great about using SysKit for PowerShell reporting is the fact that you can easily compare all PowerShell reports across different servers and over different time periods. You can even set up SysKit to automatically compare your reports and to alert you if any difference in report is spotted. It is very easy to set up using our inventory reports, and Frana will later show you that. So the other ability PowerShell gives you is the one to administrate your servers remotely. And that gets even better with SysKit. You can remotely manage all your servers using only a single console, and you can simultaneously execute PowerShell scripts on many multiple servers. For each of PowerShell scripts that you execute, SysKit will provide you with a report on execution details, sort of an execution log. And that way you know what was executed, on what servers, and was it actually successfully executed. Now, this provides you with some great options when it comes to server administration. For example, you can patch your service manually, and it can be done in quick and reliable fashion. You probably know the procedure. Just copy all the update binaries, execute the update process, and now just receive a report on where and if the update process was even successful. You're probably wondering now why I mentioned manual patch management. Well, automatic patches can break your server environment in specific situations, so experienced server admins sometimes prefer manual patching. And this is where it gets more interesting. By combining SysKit and PowerShell, you can automate your system administration tasks, and that saves you a lot of time. It is usual to run your PowerShell scripts manually, right? But what if you need some more advanced options? For example, you have multiple SharePoint farms with multiple SharePoint roles, and what you need to make sure is that your web front-end servers are available to your users at all times. Well, not a problem. Just create or import a script that will report on the SharePoint site responsiveness. Select the service you want to run it on, set up time intervals when you want it executed, and that's it. You can easily track the status of all your SharePoint sites that way. Another good example is if you have Citrix environment and you need to restart multiple Citrix servers in predefined time intervals, which is often the case. Now that's also an easy setup using SysKit. I would also like to mention that in the next SysKit update, we will be providing you with PowerShell alerts feature, and it will enable you to receive notifications for some predefined script outputs that you defined. For example, take for example the one I mentioned earlier, one about SharePoint site responsiveness. So if a SharePoint site is unavailable or it has a big response time, SysKit will detect it and send you alerts so you can react as quickly as possible. And for the end, now let's say something about PowerShell scripts. Now, PowerShell can't work without proper input, and scripts are that input. You can write your own PowerShell scripts, perhaps you can find some on the internet, or you can import them from our web repository. You should know that all scripts over there are free. But the most important thing is that if you have any trouble writing a script for specific administration task, do not hesitate to contact us. Our team will create a request script for you, and it will help you automate your server environment. Now, with all that said, it's pretty obvious that SysKit can easily take the role of your central PowerShell repository. It enables you to manage and execute your PowerShell script. It is all done from one interface. You can easily set up triggers. You can store and configure your scripts. And basically, you can perform all PowerShell related tasks. So that's all from me for now. Frane will now be presenting a live demo of PowerShell usage in server management. Over to you, Frane.
Thank you, Silvio. Very good introduction. So let me change, and I need to do this. Okay. Okay, so guys, I will just talk a bit. So in this webinar, we'll just focus on the PowerShell scripting inside the SysKit. So what we have now, how we think, how we develop this feature and stuff like that. So when you install the SysKit, it needs to be installed only on one server. So it does not need to be installed on the Citrix SQL remote desktop services, web front-end application server, or anything else. You just install it on the single location, and then basically you add the scripts into the SysKit, or create or just import from our website, and then you can manage everything from the single location. So before in SysKit we had PowerShell reporting feature. So basically you were able to create a script, and then we developed some kind of a framework where you can request some data from the server, and then you can store the data in the snapshot, and then you can create snapshots over time. So basically you will see in just a few minutes, you can write anything that you like, everything that can be written in the PowerShell shell as well, and then SysKit will request data from that particular server, and then we store that data in the database. So this is something that we developed in communication with our customers. So basically we have some other tools that are focused on the SQL Server and on the SharePoint, and our customers requested some kind of manageability. So not to wait for us to create some kind of a feature or a plugin or something, but to provide some kind of a framework where you can use a central location to write anything that you like. Okay, so let me show to you how this looks like. So this is a SysKit console, and I have a predefined set of I have just few servers I'm monitoring. So in this environment, this is a really simple demo environment. I have a domain controller, few Citrix servers, SharePoint servers with the web front-end application server and the SQL server, and some other servers. So how this looks like. So let's focus first on the reporting scripts. So when you install the SysKit comes with only 3 scripts that are inside the tool. So you have 2 reporting scripts and 1 management script. So everything that we create is we provide just one kind of a sample what you can do with the tool. So this is just an example, and I will show you later how you can see what scripts we have on our website. So you can, by your own, if you need those scripts, you can import it and then create reports by yourself. So this is just an example of 2 scripts. So basically, the first one is requesting installed features for each server that you have in your domain, and basically then so you can in one central location see which feature is installed on the particular server that you have in your environment. The other sample script is installed roles, and it's really similar to the previous script. So basically it contacts all the servers in your domain, and it searches for the installed roles on that on a particular server you want to execute script on. Okay, so let's create a sample script. Let me show you the wizard so you get an overview how this looks like. So let's click create, and first I will create a PowerShell report. So this will be a really simple script. So basically we'll just get all the services from the local computer. Of course, you can connect to the local computer, to the remote computers. Everything that has PowerShell exposure you can use here. So let's write this script really quickly, and let's execute it on this server. So my server name is this one. Okay, I can click next, and then now basically the tool will contact the server you selected, and it will try to execute and to validate the script. So if you made any change in the language, it will tell you what is going on, where is the error, so you can correct it and move on. So let's click next. Now the tool gets executed, and this is what I was talking about. So everything that script returns in the management shell, we collect it, we intercept it, and basically you get an overview of everything that script is outputting. So basically you can, for example, in this scenario, you can get all the services with service states on all the servers. And for example, if one particular service has changed state, or somebody disabled the service, or whatever was changed, then when the application makes, when the SysKit makes the snapshot, then you will you can get an alert. Okay, on this particular server, somebody for whatever reason disabled the service, or the service is the service yesterday was started, today it is stopped, and something like that. So everything that you can see on the screen can be created, can be outputted, and SysKit can display you that data. So let's click next. And this is really this is where you select where you want to execute this particular script. You can run it on all the computers you have it in SysKit. You can run it just on the specific computers or on the specific computer groups. So computer groups are just logical organizations, logical organization of the servers. So for example, if you have a Citrix farm and Citrix farm is organized with the workers and the delivery controller, and you put all that in the one computer group, and then basically you can execute that particular script on that particular Citrix farm. So for this sample, let's select the local server. Let's click SysKit-D, and now this gets us to a step where you need to configure a trigger. So when you create a report or the management task, you can create it to be executed manually, or you can configure SysKit to execute that automatically. So just something just like a task scheduler. If you want to run it manually, this is a no-brainer. You just click next, but I want to show you what happens if you select the script to be executed automatically. So reoccurrence can be just one time, every few minutes, few hours, daily, whatever you select. And this is something that you can configure as well. So if you have multiple scripts, you can configure the application to execute particular script that you created only after one script that you have for something else is executed. So the script will not be executed if one of these scripts that I select, for example, restart computer, first the tool will execute this restart computer script, and then it will execute this another script. So you can create multiple scripts that are depending on each other, and basically if you need to install something on some particular servers and first to configure something on the servers, this can be finely tuned here. So for this example, let's select only manual only mode. Let's click next, and now the tool will create our script. So this is by default when the script is created in the manual only mode, you need to click run to execute that particular script. So let's see what will happen now. So now the SysKit is basically executing that script in this example only on the local server, but it can be executed on any number of servers you have in your environment. So when you execute it, then basically the tool will show you the output of the script as a report. So that is really nice, because we saw when you have some kind of output, then you want to sort data, you want to compare data between the different servers, you want to see what was happening on the server today and yesterday, you want to do something else with the data. So it's not about the output, it's about output, putting it in the database and saving it so you can do something else with that particular output of the script. So in this scenario, we just requested to return all the services that we have on our server, and basically now the tool can create a snapshot of all the services that we have on our server, and then over time you can track how if somebody installs a new application and then it deploys a new server, you will see a change that there is a new service. If the status is stopped or somebody disabled the service or whatever, you will see that. Okay, so let me show you. So I mentioned before that the tool comes, when you install it, it comes only with a few predefined scripts. but we have prepared for you on our website, like Silvio mentioned, basically a set of scripts that you can use in your environment. So, for example, I will show you later something with the Active Directory, group policy, IIS, Hyper-V, networking, and stuff like that. So this is just so that this feature is on the market for like, I believe, a week or something like that, but this is something that we are looking to expand. So at the moment, you need to open our website and then to get the script and then to import it in the SysKit. So there is a nice little button here that basically imports that script that you download from our website, but in the future there will be a list of scripts that we will expand on the GitHub. So basically we will just update new scripts, and you will be able to download existing to update existing scripts, to download new scripts, to see what is going on, and stuff like that. So we have really a lot of plans for this feature in future. And there is something else. So at the moment, you are not able to create some kind of a real-time alert, but that is a feature that we are currently working on, and in probably in a month or something like that. So you will be able to define whatever you see on the screen. There will be a small wizard where you can define, okay, if, for example, in this script, if this particular service is stopped, send me an alert. For example, you can ping a website, and if response time is greater than, let's say, 10 seconds, send me an alert. You can ping a SharePoint site. If it returns, let's say, 200, then it will not do anything. If it returns 500 something or 404 or something like that, it can send you an alert. So basically, there is a lot of use cases that you will be able to create with that alerts that we are planning, and that will be released in a month or something like that. Okay, let's move on. So I told you about the reporting scripts, and this is something that we built in the application where you can use the tool to manage computers. So I have created just a simple script that is basically just restarting a remote computer. Of course, you can use whatever you want. You can install applications, you can apply some specific policies, you can do anything. But this is just a sample. Let me show it to you. So restart computer, that will be executed on the server that is named SQL BI. Let's click next. Execution will be manually, and I will just show it to you how this looks like. So when we execute the script, so let me just execute a ping to this computer, and so every management script, so as usually there is no any management task, there is no output with the management script, so we are just showing to you if the script status was success or failed. So when we clicked run, the SysKit will send this command to the remote server, and then remote server will be restarted. So in just a moment, we'll see here that SysKit sent to this particular server a command, and we will try, and we will see that actually that remote computer has initiated a restart. Okay, so it takes few moments. Okay, let me just check if the script has been executed with this many scripts. Okay. Okay, so this is a new record, and basically today at 5:30, like you see now, the SysKit has sent the script to the server, and the status is success. So you will see that we started to receive timeout from the server, and basically the SysKit sent restart to that remote server. So, for example, you can schedule it to restart servers at particular times overnight or over the weekend. You can create what you saw before to restart servers one after each other. You can. There is a lot of different use cases for this particular feature that you can use it. So probably in the next few seconds the server will start responding again. Okay. So I will. This is really new, and I will go back to the feature that we had before, and I will just cover a few use cases so you can get an overview what you can use PowerShell for with the SysKit. So the server just started responding, and basically this restart computer script has been executed successfully. Okay, let's move on. So when you, I wanted to show to you some examples of the scripts that we have in the application. So basically, when you import, let me just show it to you. When you import the script inside the SysKit, then, for example, for the Active Directory scripts we created, you can see what are the client computers, who are the domain admins, what are the domain trusts that you have, what are the OUs, whatever you have in your domain, then the SysKit will connect to the domain controller, and then basically you will have the output in the SysKit. And then, of course, over time, you can compare whatever you want inside the application. Okay, so let me show it to you. For example, you can get a list of disabled users. If this list is changed over time, then you can receive an alert from SysKit. Okay, somebody disabled this specific user. Maybe you want to check what is going on here, or whatever is changed in the application, you can get an alert what is going on. So this is just example of the scripts that we have on our website. But let me show to you what else you can do. So it can connect. This is a sample that connects to the domain controller. It can list some. This is just example of the policy. For example, domain password policy. If somebody changes this, you can see that inside the application. You can configure it, and then it will send you an alert. Okay, so for example, let me skip this, or maybe networking. So you can get a list of all your AD computers. You can get a list of the network interfaces on all the servers. So whatever has PowerShell exposure, you can basically create a get script, and then you can import it in the SysKit, and that's it. So this is example of what you can do. So we created a set of scripts that basically get all the IIS settings that you have on your servers. So for example, if you are using this with the SharePoint farm, you can compare different web frontends if there is some kind of difference between the different web frontend servers. What is the exact difference? What is the setting that you have configured on one server, and stuff like that. So let me show it to you how this looks like. So this is just example of what happens when you connect to the server that is named in this domain sp1.contoso.local, and basically it connects to the IIS server, and in this example it will list the app pool auto start settings. So why is this important? So we have something that we call a compare wizard. So when we collect all this different data from various sources, you can compare the snapshots over time. So I told you every time application creates a snapshot, then that is a time, all the settings are in one snapshot, so you can compare, for example, the snapshot from today with a snapshot that is maybe 30 days old or something like that. You can compare different computers, so for example, in the SharePoint farm, you can compare two, let's say, web front ends, and you can try to find the differences between that two web front-end servers. So let me show it to you how this looks like. So I will select two snapshots. So I have just created two snapshots for today, and I know there are some differences in these two snapshots. So this looks like you receive a compare result, and then basically you have a legend how you find differences in your environment. So basically by expanding and drilling down, you are trying to find what is different to help you troubleshoot that specific server or the domain controller or the Citrix or the SQL, whatever you have. So for example, in this scenario, we can see that a lot of users are the same in both snapshots, but if we remove the same users, then we see that in the snapshot that we made at 1 p.m., the user was disabled, and basically in the snapshot that we created an hour and a half ago, basically that user is enabled. So this is just an example what you can do. So you can connect to the domain controller, you can create a list of users, you can track how the users are changing, if somebody has added new user, if somebody deleted a user, if members of the security group has changed, if somebody changed the organization unit for the user or security group, whatever you want, you can basically create a script and then you can compare it in SysKit. Let me show to you just one example more. So for example, when you are comparing two different servers, so let me show it to you. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Let me just do this. So for example, this is just how it looks like when you are comparing the same server. So for example, for the app pools, for the app pool process model, you can see, for example, that in this snapshot, the max, this setting max processes was set to 1, and in this snapshot that was created after that, so an hour and a half after the first snapshot, somebody changed this to 3. So I want you to get just an overview what you can do, so the tool can be configured to take a snapshot every day, every week, or whatever you configure it, and then basically you can compare your configurations over time. Okay, just one more thing that is pretty much important I want to show to you. So this is, you created a list of scripts and management tasks in your SysKit, and you want to see if multiple administrators are using the tool, who created which script and what script is executed on what server. So when you go to custom reports, you have a PowerShell execution log, and basically the tool is showing you all the servers and what script has been executed on that server. If something is not working well, so if script returns an error or if anything else happens, you can see on that particular server in that particular time this script was executed with success or the script was executed with an error. You can of course go back in time, you can do whatever you want. I have configured this only for today, but basically you can go back in time. You can display here whatever needs, whatever your auditing team needs to know about the servers. Okay, so I don't want to bother you anymore. I hope you got a good example of what you can do with the tool. So I will just change presenter to Silvio, and then we'll try to answer a few questions. Okay?
Okay, just go back to me, Frane.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So, okay, Frane just demonstrated all the benefits of combining SysKit and PowerShell into one great system administration framework. If you would like to arrange a one-on-one demo, perhaps with someone from our product team, feel free to contact our sales team at sales@xratio.net. They will be more than happy to arrange it for you. Now it is time for the Q&A session. We are going to read and answer a couple of interesting questions from the audience. Unfortunately, we don't have time for plenty of questions. And just to remind you, all the questions we don't answer publicly now will be answered in our webinar summary. So, are you ready to start with the questions, Frane?
Yeah, let's start. Okay, so I will not change the presenter mode. If I need to show something, then I will change back to me. Okay, so there is one question. How is the security scheme? Who can use the tool? So basically, we think of a tool like a central location for all your management tasks. And we recommend our customers to install the tool on a dedicated server. So you can share access, of course, to that server to the different set of users. But inside the tool, you can basically you can provide somebody. Silvio, I will just really quickly change back to me.
No problem.
Show my SysKit. Okay, so inside the tool you have a role-based feature where you can, manage users and groups, where you can basically tell to the user to be administrator or to be a viewer. So just some users can execute administration, so it can execute the scripts, or you can provide a viewer role to somebody so he will be able just to see the results of that particular scripts. Okay, so the second question is the SQL Server. Yeah, so we have, as I told you, we have created a set of predefined scripts for the IIS. So this set of scripts capture a lot of different settings from the IIS server, but you can configure the application to capture the data from the SQL Server as well. So we do not have this at the moment, but we have plans to expand this. So basically, you will be able to capture, of course, the scripts will be publicly freely available. So basically you will be able to download all the scripts from our website, and then you will be able to capture the different stuff you want about SQL Server as well. Okay, so do we have a web interface to use SysKit, or we just have the GUI? So the SysKit has the web interface as well. Just so the web interface is missing this feature about the PowerShell. So everything that I showed you today is basically not available in the web interface, but of course it's on our roadmap, and we plan everything that you have inside the desktop application to be available through the web GUI. So we have the web application sitting on top of the IIS server, and it's just a matter of few months when we will implement all this PowerShell stuff to the web application as well. Okay, so can SysKit be used through different domains? If so, I understand we need to set different credentials to connect to each domain. Yes, this is a nice question. So the tool, let me just show to you. The tool basically it can use if you have trusted domains, it can use the domains that are in trust. But if you do not have trust for whatever reason with some of the domains, then you can define the credentials for that different domains. So where is it? System jobs, AD integration, and basically now you can define here, okay, I have domain example.com, and all the servers that are in this domain example.com use example service user and then some password, and all the servers that you add to the SysKit will use credentials that you defined for that specific domain. Okay, let's move on to another question. Can we have a monitoring board display with this tool? I'm not sure what do you mean but by that question, but basically the feature as the tool is monitoring the performance of the server, so we just covered one set of features inside the tool. You have a set of performance reports, and then basically you have a nice dashboard you can see where you can see the health of all your servers. You can check how many servers you have, what is exactly going on with the servers, what are the different performance counters that you have on the servers. And what is important for the tool, it can go to the server to the process level. So it won't only show you the usage of the CPU and memory on the server, it will show you for every particular process that you have on your server. Okay, so what else? Regarding the SharePoint scripts, how we can connect to different farms to use PowerShell scripts if each farm has different farm administrator? Yeah, this is good question. At the moment, you cannot do it because basically we rely on the domain. So if you have if basically the same domain user is able to access both farms, then you will be able to execute scripts on both farms. But if you need to perform some kind of SharePoint management tasks, then you need to add the user to the SPS shell admin, and then of course you need to add that user inside the SysKit. And this is really cool feature, so I will open a request to the developer team, and they will probably think about that particular feature. Okay, Silvio, so I don't want to bother our audience anymore with the questions. So all the questions that are not answered, we will try to contact you or the email, and then to help you with any questions you might have.
Okay, switch back to me, Frane.
Okay, just a moment. Yes.
Okay, well, Fran answered some of your questions, and this brings us to the end of the Q&A session, and with it to the end of this webinar. I hope you all learned something today. Thank you for joining us, and if you have any questions, please contact us at support@acceleratio.net. Have a good day, all of you, and I'll see you soon in another one of our webinars. Thanks again. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.